Welcome to the Salt Circle Podcast. My name is Hank. With me is Ben.
They said I couldn't do it. They said it would never be done. To all the doubters, to all the haters, myself included, I fuck you. I did it. I fucking did it.
Persevered.
I watched.
Faced your fears.
I watched Gangs of London. I mean, it wasn't even facing my fears, honestly. It was just like, at some point, once stuff builds up enough, I'm like, okay, this is fucking ridiculous. Like, for some stuff, it just gets to a point where I'm like, okay, come on. Also, I watched Gangs of London in full over the course of like 2 days. I binged that shit super hard.
It's fucking good.
You made it sound so much worse. Like there are bad bits, don't get me wrong, but you made it sound like that shit was like 90% of an episode was just like not friendly.
There was one scene that was 100% what you said you didn't want.
You know what? The scene that actually was the worst for me was not the scene you might be thinking of. There's only a couple that could possibly be worse. But
was it the one where the person was tortured and only able to stand on glass? Or whatever? Or like,
yeah, we'll get there.
We'll get there. So, what is Gangs of London? Gangs of London is a TV show created by Gareth Evans and Matt Flannery of the Raid movies. The Raid Redemption.
Which
and
I also
Raid
closed
2.
my eyes a lot during.
So this is like, prestige crime drama television, but also the action is fucking incredible.
Yeah.
Like, goddamn.
I saw I saw a little bit of discourse on people like talking about it, and I saw a few people making comments like, yeah, I thought this was all really good shit and blah blah blah, and then the fight scenes happen and it's just like your typical Hollywood nonsense, and everyone's like, you clearly don't know what you were watching then. Like that's your problem.
Yeah. These fights rule.
Dude, the fights,
particularly the fights in the first, the double episode, because Gareth Evans only directs like the 2-part start of the season and then episode 6, which is the raid on the house.
Mm-hmm.
And the action in those parts is clearly like a step up from everything else. But yeah,
dude, that first episode, you got through all those guys, blah 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 blah. Like, well, yeah, but I had a dart.
What did you get? 6 people, 8, but I had a dart.
Like,
so,
just such a good bit.
The dart was useful, dude.
Wow.
He stabbed and cut so many people with that dart.
He really goes ham.
It's a good Jackie Chan tradition of fighting with whatever fucking object is at hand.
Yeah,
like when
dude.
he fights with a mattress.
Yeah, dude, it's so good. And like, I don't know, like all the characters were fun, at least, like good to watch.
Yeah, the guy who plays Sean Wallace, Joe Cole, was a major character. He was like the brother of the main character, who's played by Cillian Murphy in this show, this other crime show, Peaky Blinders. That's incredibly popular. And
dude, I've told so many,
also British.
So many people have told me to do a Peaky Blinders. Probably gonna do it.
So
at
Peaky
some
Blinders
point,
is based on actual true events.
Yeah,
it's based on the gang. They're the Peaky Blinders because they would wear peaky caps, and they would put razor blades in the edges, and then swing those hats at people's eyes to try and blind them.
All right, I'm out. I'm out again.
This is the whole thing of their.
I'm fucking out.
And like at some point, they're like, Cillian Murphy is like working for Chamberlain, like Winston Churchill rather,
Mm.
like with spy shit. Like it gets complicated. That show's good, but it doesn't have like the kind of action this has. But that Joe Cole being here is like he's like bringing that vibe of a classic,
Yeah.
popular crime show. And then like he definitely agreed to be in the show because he wasn't gonna make it past season 1, honestly. Because like I see interviews like he didn't want to be typecast in that way, but this is such a cool show, so he agreed
Yeah.
to do it. And he's kind of like the main draw, but then our actual real main character is Elliot, played by Soap Dirisu, who's an undercover cop.
Yeah. So
He rules.
the general gist of the show is crime boss. I mean, like absolute top dog of London, pretty much. Well, supposedly top dog of London.
Yeah. Played by Colm Meary, known for playing Miles O'Brien in Star Trek.
Yeah, sure. Nobody's heard of that show, Hank. Yeah, he gets popped by a couple of guys who think they've been hired. Like, clearly people not really, like, they're like on the very fringe of this game. Like, they clearly know someone enough to be involved, but it's supposed to be a one-time thing and one and done, get some money that they can get out. And they're told it's some random pedophile. And the guy who has the gun goes in, waits in an apartment. The other guy waits in the car, and he realizes, oh shit, this is not some random guy. This is like literally one of the worst people that we could kill. And that message does not get through. They pop him. Well, guy one pops him. And now we have a whole big mess on our hands because there's a lot of different shit that he was tied to. And now his son Sean is, in theory, head of this family and this empire. And there's a lot of other crime syndicates involved. We got some people, stuff's all on hold, and like a whole big mess, whole big thing. And that's pretty much our plot, is figuring out like who had him killed, because it certainly wasn't like a random thing.
Yeah, it's that mystery like hangs over the show, and everything's all these crime factions are all unstable.
Yeah,
and in the midst of it, got Elliot.
True.
Who's like been undercover for 2 years.
Yeah, and he's
and
like
has made zero progress.
Yeah, he's still just like a low level,
the lowest of the low, like low level
security. Basically,
and his boss like knows he's a cop even. Like,
well,
smell it
out. Basically, yeah. It's like he says something in like the first episode, like, what is it? It's something about like, you're more than a washed up something. Like, you're clearly still in the game, like in the force.
Yeah. Mm.
So, yeah, I definitely got some Wire vibes. Was one of my first thoughts between Sean and Alex, like in particular. And I think about this line a lot with stuff where, oh shit, Avon
Barksdale,
and Idris Elba, Stringer Bell, yeah. Been a hot minute with that show. Where we get the quote, "Your blood runs green, mine runs red." And that's definitely what I like thought of. Like, Sean's clearly more about the family stuff and figuring out who killed his dad. And Alex, who is the son of Ed Damani. The Damanis are like tight with this crime family with the Wallaces. It's kind of like a joint thing.
Yeah.
But
like the way they got to power kind of is like Finn Wallace with the Irish gang and Ed with the black gang kind of coming together and like uniting their forces is kind of what allowed them to like become this powerful force in London.
Yeah, and the Damanis are like at this point clearly more into the business side of things, and they definitely take on like it's just straight Stringer Bell type of stuff where they're like, no, I like we're gonna find out, but there's a lot of business going on here, and we need to maintain that, and blah blah blah. And Sean is like,
we got
what
money to make,
and Sean is all like, nothing fucking happens until we find out who killed my dad. And like, just it's a good. I like it.
Yeah, I mean the show opens with Sean asking, like, interrogating a dude who's hanging off the top of a building, and then he lights him on fire and is like, I'm sorry, I have no choice.
Dude, so watching that scene, like, yeah, the first scene that's starting out, and again, at this point I'm still expecting this to be non-stop, like not serial friendly shit, but that scene kind of comforted me because it was so goddamn dark that I couldn't see a thing. And I'm like, well, maybe people are just getting sliced, but it's all dark as hell, so you can't see what's going on. That's fine. It never really got better, and I don't know if it was just like something with my monitor or what. I did realize at one point that I would like had some video adjustment stuff on that was making it a little darker, but I even had to brighten it a little. It was dark. Literally.
Yeah,
but
some dark lighting.
I mean,
there are
great.
a lot of abandoned buildings.
Yeah, and they're like, I mean, they're always doing shit at night.
True.
But I mean, it looks great. The shot of Bud getting lit on fire and falling is like super good.
Yeah, like it's like the other way it's like The Wire. It is about like all aspects of this crime world. Like it's trying to dig into like all these nooks and crannies of different stuff and how all those people are interacting up to like the high end of where the money is actually and power actually it exists to this street level cop who's trying to work through it.
Yeah,
we don't get as much on like beyond. We don't get like into like it never goes into.
I mean,
like,
we're not at John Wick
actually
levels
into
yet.
the cops. We're only at like undercover cop side of it.
Yeah. I mean, I did love that ramp up of like him realizing, oh shit, like they find out who killed Finn Wallace, but then you realize that like it goes higher than that. Like it just doesn't stop here. And I love that we don't get a ton of that. You know, keep it a little mysterious.
Yeah.
And I also love the line. I forget what episode it's in, but because Elliot's still undercover, but obviously like shit's getting worse and worse. And also he starts like sleeping with this chick who's part of the Damani family.
He's sleeping with Ed's daughter.
Yeah. So
Shannon.
Like that's, you know, you're undercover, but goddamn, like what are you doing? And obviously they're
just like immediately hot for each other.
Yeah. And they like, so of course the police force, like the commissioner or whoever the hell, like wants to pull him out. But I love that he's all like, I'm so close to finding out who's at the top of all this and blah, blah, blah. And the guy's like, no, you aren't. Like, you're a self-important prick. You think we don't know, like, that this goes incredibly high? We're not going to do shit about it because we can't. Like, it's so good.
Literally, you're going to not make sure you're going to save this police officer that you fucked over.
Yeah.
So that you can sleep at night.
Yeah, they send in another undercover cop to, like, keep an eye on him. And then he like Elliot wants the second cop like out, so he sets him up, but it goes real bad, and like guy gets like tortured then killed.
Yeah. It's
So
like a drill to his throat.
yeah,
Bad time.
yeah. I mean, it's to the back of the neck, which is much better from my perspective. No problem with that shot. Had it been a drill to the front of the neck, now I don't know.
True.
So it's gonna surprise you. It surprised me. I forced myself to watch the slicey scene with open eyes. Not that bad. Still made my wrists itch a little bit. But you know what? I guess like a straight razor, like a barbershop straight razor, not as bad as a box cutter. That's
Okay.
a more makes sense. I did watch Sweeney Todd.
An elegant
like,
weapon for a more civilized.
Yeah, you had like a nice calm music in the background. Like, I think it helped that they did like his forearm and it didn't go all the way up to the wrist, so maybe it's more of a wrist thing combined with the non-box cutter stuff. You learn something new about yourself every day. That wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. So I was actually okay with that. The scene that fucking got me, like I was like fine. When the chick is being tortured, it was not the glass on her feet actually. Not great to think about, of course, but she took the piece of glass.
Yeah,
she's
strung up and like there's like
yeah, they have her
she
hanging in
never,
shackles. But she's chained on like a pulley, so to torture her, they like lower her on barefoot onto this like broken glass.
Yeah, like she can never like stand cleanly without being hurt.
And she eventually like gets a piece of glass and she cuts her wrist, which is pretty bad. But not I realized what she was aiming to do, and I'm like, there's no fucking way they just let her do this, and I had to turn away. Cause she's like pulling at her wrist to try to get it through the shackle, and like they spent a lot of goddamn time on that bit, and I couldn't do it. And then the other one that I guess it's not like terrible. I just like it's not like the box cutter stuff. Like I said, like even watching like the slices, like my wrist itch. This isn't like when they were pulling her fingernails and like teeth and shit. It doesn't give me like. I don't start imagining it like in too much detail or whatever. I just don't like looking at it. As someone who has pulled off a nail, like that's no good. So I'm just like,
it's no good.
The sound effects are going hard enough. They're like squelching and clicking and all this other shit. I was fine. But that the wrist in the shackle, that was too fucking much for me. She was just twisting it and grinding it and fucking pulling.
True.
Oh. Also, so Finn Wallace's wife, Marion, who is fucking. So I have I was thinking about this earlier when I was out and about. I have a two-faced analogy. I'm going to try to navigate it properly to demonstrate who Marion is. So the first part is that she's kind of like Lady Macbeth, but sometimes when I'm cleaning the house, I got these black shorts and I get chlorine on my shorts, and you have two options. You either try to remove the stain, which is impossible with chlorine. Now you have an orange spot on your shorts. So the only option is to put on more chlorine and make it look like a tie-dye thing, or like intentional at least, or symmetrical or something. So if Lady Macbeth took that mindset instead of being like out damn spot, and she was just like, fuck it, I need more spots on this. That's Marion. Like, at first she's like, no, you have to do this, Sean, like for the family, blah blah blah. I'm like, okay, like seems like, and then we get some flashbacks with her and Finn. I'm like, okay, it's like Lady Macbeth, and then she starts fucking torturing us. I'm like, okay, it's so much like Lady Macbeth at least like felt a little bad at a certain point. This bitch is crazy.
Yeah, she's played by Michelle Fairley, who is most popularly known as Catelyn Stark on Game of Thrones.
Wouldn't know. Would not know at all. I didn't even recognize her, honestly.
That's fine.
I mean, just some of those people I do.
Yeah. She's good. She just doesn't get to fight. She gets to do that torture scene.
She really gets the torture stuff. Yeah. I mean, she gets her own.
She's like into bringing in the Irish army.
Yeah. Well, and she does she has her own little like go-to private detective person who's like looking into shit. So.
Yeah, that's true. Early on, she's more on the case on like what the fuck Finn was actually into.
Yeah, like what he was doing at this apartment.
It turns out he was going to leave his family with his mistress, who's
20-something
pregnant.
Yeah, 20-something mistress who was pregnant with his kid.
He bought this giant yacht and named it after her, and
a fucking island.
In an island, and had set up like a timer to like drain all of their criminal bank accounts.
Well, a shitload of their like a set amount of money.
Yeah, he was gonna steal like $1 billion.
Yeah, like 1.5 or something.
Yeah,
just ridiculous.
So,
just fucking everybody over.
Yeah, not just like abandoning his family, and draining their bank account.
But like draining them, so the way that he's draining them is like fucking over other gangs, but also in a way that like fucks over his own like crime syndicate. Like like fucking with other deals and stuff. It's not just like draining their accounts.
Like all the people that they're working with are gonna want to kill them.
Yeah.
Like it's so incredibly selfish.
Yeah.
And like it doesn't give a shit about his family.
And that build up is great too.
Yeah, because there's like a shit of like everything hangs on the Wallace name.
Well, and at first like Sean still has this idea of like how his dad was a good not a good dude clearly, but like with redeeming qualities,
the patriarch.
Yeah, and like family and honor among thieves sort of thing.
It's like that all falls apart as the show goes. Like, oh, the characters fight. Like that was all horseshit.
Yeah, I mean,
out for themselves.
He tried to make his kids. Well, not even tried to make. Like, successfully convinced his kids to fucking kill a man who looked at his wife wrong in a bar.
Yeah, he's like, all right, kids, here we go. Here's a dude buried in the ground with just his head above the earth. Have a gun, son. Now shoot this man.
Yeah.
Which Sean doesn't do.
No, his brother
Billy takes the shot instead.
Yeah.
And then Billy just becomes a drug addict and he's not really that involved in the crime stuff.
Yeah. And their sister, Jackie, is like completely out of it. Like she's just a nurse doing her own thing because I mean she's a good person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the show's just good at like throwing shit at you. Like when we first cut to, oh yeah, here's Finn's mistress Fiona in a basement with his baby.
It's Floriana.
Floriana, yes.
Yeah,
Floriana just being held in this fucking basement.
The way we got introduced to characters in this also felt nice. You know how I hate characters. I I fucking hate me. And I even starting this, I'm like, look at all these gangs. We're gonna have so many people to deal with.
There are a lot of characters.
There's a lot of people.
Most of them are dead by the end of the season, but there are a lot of them.
Yeah. So
a good number of them are dead.
When we see Floriana and she's pregnant, that's how we get introduced to like the Danish guy, which then leads into the Danish like team, like that special forces thing.
Yeah.
Like that was good. I like that, like, because he could have been just like, at first I thought he would just be someone who is keeping watch of her for someone else, and then he was just going to be kind of a nobody. But no, that expands pretty quick.
Yeah, and then like when they go to like his wife's house, they find their kid. It's just like, what are these people doing?
Yeah. Did you have what's your favorite scene? I guess like,
I mean, my favorite thing is the siege in episode 6.
Okay. That tracks you.
That is like kind of doesn't matter for the plot, but is like the other thing Gareth Evans directs. And it's like the best Rainbow Six Siege movie that exists. They have ladder ops, dude.
Yeah, man.
Those dudes have ladders strapped to their fucking belt.
Shooting through
they
walls.
Pop them out. That shit rules.
They got a C4 multi-kill.
And just ends with like everyone in the house getting murdered.
Yeah.
Like GG.
Every
boys.
single fucking person. Yeah, like literally everybody there is just dead. And it's like, okay, well, we've been following this thread.
I know. Like the balls of that, of just like, yeah, no. Like, this is what the guy who created the show is like, I'm directing this. I'm directing the shit out of this. Where just this entire thread gets mowed down.
Yeah. See, I love because I was rooting for the Albanian dude, who is kind of the one involved with this deal that Finn's money is getting yanked out of on both sides. So he's dealing with this Nigerian guy who is like ruthless, but also really fucking loved his line where he's like, they just think we're a bunch of savages. We'll show them. And they proceed to fucking cut off hands like a bunch of savages. And just murder an entire
He loves
bank.
machetes.
They love machetes, yeah.
And burying people in the walls of buildings.
Yeah. Classic. Yeah, so when they're like clearly about to kill the Albanian dude, and he just like kicks off and murders all of them in like a single short spree, and he's walking,
that scene rules.
Just walking down the hall like, just like hyperventilating because he's like fucking shaking from adrenaline and shit. Oh my god, that's how I felt in that moment. Like I was fucking stressed. Oh my god, it was so good. It was such a good scene. And him like the shot of him, the Albanian guy, getting the knife and stabbing through the door like multiple times with clear force. Like he's not just doing a quick stab, he's like just gutting that dude. Oh my god, but him walking down
the camera's just like in the hallway and this machete pokes through the fucking door. And then again and again.
But it's just a solid thunk. Like, they made the door feel real solid, too. Put a lot of weight behind it. God, that bit was good. Oh.
When he, like, shows up to there and he sees the trail of blood heading across the hallway, and then, like, the trash can is, like...
yeah, the dude, he was gonna...
The, like, liquefied body of the dude who came there ahead of him.
Yeah.
Good violence.
Yeah, man. Oh, those
and, like,
fights
excess,
were great.
like fucking going above and beyond. With
well,
that shit.
And there's just so, I mean, it did get to a point where part of me was like, I know that with these crime shows, I feel like there is a subset of people who are like, yeah, man, this is how the world is. Like crime syndicates and like all this shit going down in like in back rooms and stuff. I'm like, yeah, okay, to like a certain extent, sure, obviously, but like,
Yeah.
I don't think these people are murdering an entire like investment bank. Like they're probably all like, I'm looking at Ed Dumani and I'm like, that's pretty much how it all is. Like, it's people being fucking quiet and mostly legal, except for the giant parts that hide money.
Yeah.
Like, they're not fucking doing all this stuff.
You don't find like big, rich investor people like hanging out spikes outside buildings in London.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah. Well, and that was the other dude, for all these people, like the money that's being thrown around, like these are clearly like at most like hundreds of multimillionaires, if not, and in some obvious cases, clearly billionaires. Like, they're not going to be doing their goddamn dirty work. Like, you think it's just, but I mean, it doesn't fucking matter at all. I just thought it was funny.
It's a TV show.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, but the way that it handles the shit with the investors is like basically a YA novel. Like, it's like not different than like any fucking battle royale, like the Maze Runner or something. Honestly,
I just kind of like.
We're not that far off of Squid Game.
Yeah, man, I really I was so happy that Lala, that she came like out of it. I respect. I mean, you know, in particular with Anya and stuff, not the same exact plight, but like a parallel of that stuff. I'm like, I support your cause pretty specifically for my life. But God, that was like one I was super glad to get that resolution on. Just making that guy fucking hurt, cutting out dude's tongue.
Yeah,
I was fine with that. That's cereal friendly, baby.
Tongue sitting on the table.
You can cut out a tongue all damn day. Doesn't bother me, as long as we don't see the process, I suppose.
Yeah, I can't remember a time like the mayor of London's tongue was cut out. Like, I don't remember that happening.
And even if it did, nobody would look into it or care because the world's just that corrupt. It's not just all the way to the top. It's every single person on the way there, too. God, I fucking hated that guy, though. Asif. Easily the dude I dislike the most. His fucking eyes. Like, when he's
like bloodshot eyes.
Completely bloodshot when he's talking right before, like, the last time we see him with, what's the guy's name? Nasir?
Nasir, his son, yeah.
Yeah. Like, and it's just him. I'm like, his eyes seem maybe kind of bloodshot. And then he leans down and they have the contrast between him and Nasir. And I'm like, they're not some bloodshot. They're fucking red.
Mm-hmm.
Just wild.
Never talk bad about money.
Yep.
Capitalism.
Yeah, man. I loved how shit turned out with Elliot. Mm-hmm. How he ends up like just falling into it I mean, he pulls an Anakin Skywalker, except he seems to be semi-successful.
Look, when his dad tells him pawns can't be kings, but they can be blank, I'm like, queens? Is that where this is going?
Yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking as well.
Like, I know how chess works. What are you? Is that where?
But they can
free.
Be
I see.
Free. They can't go back. Yeah. But aside from that, no lateral movement either. You go forward until you die.
So you become a queen.
Dude, I was worried his dad was gonna get fucking got. I liked his dad.
Yeah. Former boxer.
Yeah.
Who's now old. Good shit.
Man, but that bit where he just all like diplomatic immunity of Panama and they're like, fuck. Makes a phone call. Fuck. which led to me. I rolled on out and I saw some people discussing it because some people, people were confused. Like, I don't understand why that stopped the show. And, like I saw people explaining like, yeah, diplomatic immunity, like you can get away with crimes and not be prosecuted in that country. But generally it's a thing that, just because you have it, you want to not use it for like murder and shit. But like it's definitely a thing that you can like bribe people to get, and that happens occasionally in the real world. And they were listing examples. So today I'm like, hey Anya, how much do you think that shit costs? Like what do you think the Russian price is? But
pawns can be kings, turns out.
Yeah, man, that was a good line. And him walking, and I mean now he's in that world entirely. But that's why again,
I know I want another season so fucking bad after that, how that ends.
I mean, they're doing one, right?
Yeah, but COVID.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
Like this season came out in 2020.
Yeah.
That's not that long, I guess.
I mean, it was April 2020, so in theory, like most of it was done before COVID got terrible.
Oh yeah, like season 1 was finished before COVID. But.
Yeah. What the fuck was Vicky doing? Seems like some dumb shit. Walking into Shannon's house, all like, hey, help us out. Are you here alone? Like, do people know you're here? No, it's just us. Sweet, I'll be right back. Like, what are you doing, Vicky?
Vicky.
Also, that fucking annoyed. That I think that death more than any other death annoyed me. Cause like we were shown that Shannon and Danny were like getting out of Dodge. Like they had presumably fake passports and all that shit. Like you're already leaving, and she's gonna have no fucking tabs on you because nobody will. You didn't need to shotgun her. Like you could have just told her to fuck off, and that you wouldn't help.
Yeah. I feel like that scene is setting up that there is more going on with that character.
I guess, yeah, because her husband is like not in prison, or ex-husband, husband, whatever.
Yeah,
that's true.
Like she just straight up, she totally lied about that too.
Yeah.
Elliot, so, and she shotgunned that police officer.
She fucking barrel stuffed her. But Vicky, I mean, like, kind of on Vicky though.
Vicky that was a bad play. I don't know what Vicky's move at that point is. Like, she's kind of out of good moves, but man.
I mean, her move was to say, "What the fuck?" and then get immediately chest shotted.
Yeah, but no, like, hey, you should work with the police because we're cool. We just threatened to take your child into protective services. Like, what the fuck? Like, coming out with that, like, yeah, that's definitely gonna make her like you. The fuck are you doing?
Yeah. Well, she said she didn't care if, like, at that point, like, she's like, if this is what I need to lean on to get you to help.
Yeah, but that's not how you establish a good relationship with a person.
I guess. She just cared about establishing an informant. I don't think she gave a fuck whether she...
Yeah, I'm saying that was a mistake.
I guess. I mean, she
got shotgunned.
The thing she was leaning real hard on was that she wouldn't get fucking barrel stuffed, I guess. Not from that character. I was really thinking when Ed and Marion were on the bench, I thought that was going to be a double blammo.
It said neither of them died.
Apparently, yeah. People were debating whether Marion is dead fully.
She opens her eyes.
She opens her eyes, but like people were still talking about. This is like, I say people were talking. This is like from fucking year ago. Yeah, There's not a lot of discussion on this show.
Yeah.
Because I guess they're thinking like it's a red herring or whatever. Like that she's still gonna die, and then like the Floriana saying "I'll help you" is like kind of to nobody, like postmortem sort of thing. That's I don't buy it.
She opened her eyes.
Yeah, that one. There are a surprising amount of people who are like, "There's no way Sean is dead." No way.
That one was the most believable to me because, like, of course Sean is dead. Like, Joe Cole doesn't want to do another season.
But see, people were saying their argument for that, and now that makes more sense. That you're like that he's actually notable because I don't fucking recognize him. I suppose I probably he probably seemed familiar because I've seen like posters for Peaky Blinders and shit, or like thumbnails. But they're like, without him, there's no star power, and everyone's like, what the hell are you talking about? Like, they've already established these characters that people like.
Yeah,
like they don't need
like
him.
yeah, he was the star power for season 1. But now that like Elliot is established as the main character.
Yeah, and like season 2 will lead to more new characters and stuff, so they can bring in like other star power, like I don't like Ricky Gervais or something. I don't know.
Bring in
Cher.
Fucking kidding me. Yeah, Cher. Yeah, Cher would fit perfectly.
I mean, you don't let them stretch their acting chops. But no, like he got popped. Man. Also, I was thinking one of the comments, bits that you've made, done, whatever, that I think is the funniest thing so far is when you commented in the Discord and you hit the Vin Diesel sticker and you're like, show 'em what family means, and that's the Bug Snack sticker. It's like blam blam blam. I fucking laugh to myself about that probably once a day. Like, it just fucking kills me. In this entire series, they're talking about family so much. I'm like, show them what family means. Pow, pow, pow. Like every other 10 minutes, they're really we got to stick together. Blam, blam. God.
Yeah, man. That's about Elliot Ed and Marion in the fucking cemetery. Family. They loved each other.
Yeah, family. Fucking Alex and Sean.
Well,
they still
Alex and Sean, actually, we're gonna work it out. Elliot fucked that one up.
Well, I mean, Alex still pointed a gun at Bud.
It's true. Some rocky relationships.
Yeah. Well, and then you had what's dude's name? Hang on, don't tell me. Why is this so? There's am I? Oh, Kenny Edwards.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's the head of the Welsh
Travelers.
Right? Yeah.
I guess I didn't know they were Welsh.
They're Welsh, yes.
I feel a little, I guess, primarily uninformed. And second, I feel like I've been, I'll say, not racist, because I wouldn't know aside from media, which is real racist oftentimes. I thought they were Romani. Because of the well, admittedly, because I've seen Snatch.
Because they were in the trailer park.
I mean, yeah, like that I didn't know that was a thing for Welsh, or that it would be. I guess I yeah. So Okay. Well, today I
You
learned.
live and learn.
Yeah, no, it's, whatever. It's not like it's shattering my worldview or anything.
You're just wrong.
Dude, it happens every day. Like him and his son, it showed he was ready to show his dad what family meant.
I mean,
Was
God. That other dude, it's like, has to let his one son have a car dropped on his leg, and then let his other son and that son get like butchered by the fucking butcher dude.
God, he was in a bathtub of blood.
Yeah, he was.
That scene was like so
liquefied.
fucking dark. Like
Yeah.
completely horror film shit.
And also, like, you're following the plot. Like, Elliot shows up there, and the dude he's actually looking for is, like, gone. And the other dude who would have any information has been liquefied. And now he's got to fight this, like, naked, muscled dude who's got a butcher knife. And
God,
he's fighting him with a mattress. Like, what the?
What a good...
This is episode 2.
What a good fight, though. God.
Yeah.
And then the guy at
butcher
the
knife
end...
burst mattress. That's fucking all time. Like,
it's solid, though. That's good shit. It's smart.
Yeah.
And then dude just kills himself at the end. Like the broken leg. But yeah, also the machete in or the butcher knife in the wall.
Yeah. Where Elliot keeps like getting like controlling that dude's arm and getting it to swing around, so he's ends up cutting himself.
Yeah. Like slices his stomach and his...
Yeah. One after the other. And then they're like that shot of where the butcher knife is in the wall, and trying to push Elliot's head, and Elliot's just holding on with his arm. His head doesn't reach.
Yeah. And he swings it around.
The choreography is so on point.
It's real good. All the I was thinking about the guys, like, they really let the blood flow. Like, quite literally. Like, that guy's leg is just pouring. Also, like, I was sort of enthralled watching when Elliot's trying to save that other cop, and he gets the drill to the back of the neck, and Elliot's still, like, telling him to stay with him and stuff, and he's like, no, and then he, like, presses, then, like, a fucking wave of blood, like, pours out. He's like, no, and then he's still trying, and then, like, more blood pours out. It's like, dude, he just... Oh,
That's
much
Philly
blood.
of life, dude.
Yeah. God. Yeah. No, there was a lot of good shit.
I love the shit of like Sean finally finds out Elliot's a cop, and then is like actually at the point in his life where he's like, you know what? Even though Elliot's a cop, we could still work with it. I can still work with him because I want to take down these investors more than anything. So
Yeah.
we can actually continue this. But by that point, Elliot is now working for the investors, so he ends up shooting Sean. It's so good.
Yeah, man. Oh, that building getting taken down?
Yeah, the building blowing up was pretty good.
Good shit.
Like just watching the show, I'm like, man, this show has balls. This show is just willing to do shit.
Yeah, man.
Like, this is a television program. We are going to do things. Which is like, the thing that gets... It's all like Peaky Blinders, it's pretty good. But it has to stick to history, kind of.
Yeah.
Whereas a show like this can fucking do whatever the fuck it wants.
In a world where mass murder goes ignored because of infinite corruption.
Yeah.
It got to the, I also remember thinking at some point, I'm like, does anyone in London have a normal life? Literally anyone? Like, I'd be fucking scared. Yeah. If I was in this profession.
These people are basically living in Gotham City.
Yeah. Like, it got to the point, because there's, like, at the end, when we have that nurse who tells Elliot to say that he has the diplomatic immunity, I'm like, you know what? She's probably not in that deep. She's probably just in to be like a go-between and otherwise just kind of do her job and maybe occasionally make a little thing here and there and she gets a little extra dough for doing whatever. I'd still be fucking paranoid. because these people are clearly like, I mean, they're way too much about family, you know? Pop, pop. But
Yeah.
but then I'm like, even just being a normal ass citizen, you got no chance. You're just working in a bank, and then some asshole with a machete rolls in.
Oh, yeah. I like after the building blows up and this year's on TV. You know, we're looking into why this building blew up, like totally trying to
Yeah,
underplay
what
it.
happened?
What could have happened?
A giant. Meanwhile, it's a fucking explosion that rocked the city.
And like knocked out the power grid.
Yeah.
Like it was not a small thing. Yeah, that was. I love the underplay on that. God, I love Lale like fucking coming up to Asif and like saying she just spoken to his son at the rally and
Her
at the
hand's
party
just
and like
fucking
shakes his
blood.
hand
Oh.
and he like looks at it and it's covered in blood.
God. I was so happy. I was so happy that Lala and I don't even remember dude's name. I don't even remember Albanian dude's name. Albanian Mafia. Yeah, Luan. I'm so happy that they like for now they're doing their thing.
Yeah, they killed the people who they were feuding with and dipped.
Yeah.
Like Luan and his wife is like, we can't show weakness. It's like it's not about weakness. It's about letting your enemies kill each other and then coming back. Okay.
I mean,
And he's like still so fucking like high on adrenaline. And
she's
like,
just absolutely fucking jacked. God, that walk down the hallway was just the best.
yeah,
God,
just fucking
I-
shaking.
I really thought that that Masi was going to give his daughter a head for for her birthday. Like I actually thought it was gonna be that, and then it's the dog. I'm like, okay, that's good. She's real little.
There are limits. Not a monster.
Oh yeah, no, he's not a monster at all.
He just puts people in the walls of buildings.
I mean, you
And
know
likes
what?
to chop
There's
their hands
probably some reading to be done into that. Well, no, because he definitely would have killed her. Never mind.
Yeah.
I was gonna compare that to like the fact that Finn did want that entire family killed,
Uh-huh.
but like, nah, Masi definitely would.
Yep.
I mean, it's there's the crazy guy in Brooklyn Nine-Nine at one point. He's like, "Whoa, are we gonna kill a kid? I don't kill kids, unless the kid's a dick."
How into turtles is this kid?
Yeah, it's it's an important consideration.
Yeah.
Imagine.
But yeah, no. I watched the show and like had like literally no one to talk about it with. I'm like, this show is great. Someone should watch it.
I am surprised that you're the only person I've ever heard mention it in any capacity. Like, it was a really solid show, and I'm like, this is just good, and this is the shit that I think people really like.
Yep.
So I'm just surprised that I haven't heard a goddamn thing about it. But yeah, no, my heart bled for you when we were talking, and you said you didn't have a podcast to talk about it on, and I'm like, this man is hurting. I can help.
True. I've been hurting for like a year plus or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, we were talking. I was talking about.
I think it like didn't air on US TV. I don't know.
That
Like
sounds
it
right.
came. It was like a British exclusive at first, and then came out on like AMC or something at some point, but like I think the second season is when it has a better chance to take off,
I
to
mean,
get more popular over here.
not having something release in America seems like a good way to not have it start out not great.
Yeah. It was a UK first show,
Yeah.
so it goes.
I mean, you know what?
And I don't know, like the crowd for the Raid movies is not the same as the crowd for, you know, prestige crime TV, I guess. Even though, like, the Raid 2 in particular is like just a crime thriller. Like, the Raid 2 is literally the main character goes into prison and undercover with the crime family. It's literally the plot of that movie. So,
I was gonna say, speaking of that phrase, I thought to myself, yeah, we're 3 seconds deep in this series, and I'm all so it goes. Person burning off of a building.
Yeah. Rip. Press F.
God.
I can't get over it now in my head that So It Goes is tied to saying rip or pressing F. Those are all equivalent.
F to pay respect.
Yeah, man. But yeah, Gangs of London is fucking...
It's very, very, very good. And the stuff that... I mean, I think there's still some stuff to be worried about in it, you know, as far as violence goes, if you're squeamish like I can be. But it's not that bad.
Yeah.
The torture, like... That was a bit much, but I don't think, like... I obviously I'm not I'm not watching a lot of stuff in this realm of things, but like I haven't dealt with many torture things. That's kind of usually like a straight up kill is fine, but once we get into torture, that's where I start like overthinking in a bad way, and I'm like, what if this is the movie where they fucking take a box cutter to like the little flap of skin that holds the tip of your tongue into your mouth? I don't want to see that on camera. I don't like that.
Yeah. No, it was definitely a thing of like, okay, so there's the blood. The guy get paralyzed, and then he gets his arm cut while he bleeds out, and has to sit there with that. And then there's the torture scene later, also.
That's like,
get by there. That was definitely where
brutal.
my head was at in terms of saying like be aware. There's shit's fucked up.
Yep.
Show is definitely, you know, dark in that way, but it's also ridiculous. And
it's
fun.
very over the top.
Yeah, it's an exercise in excess.
Yeah,
I would say, but also like it's clever. It's like, you know, smart.
Well, they have it does a lot of the stuff that I liked about The Wire. I like about this. You got the cops versus robbers stuff. You got the theoretical bad guys that you are still kind of rooting for, like that conflict between money and whatever the fuck red blood stands for.
And it has like a feature of The Wire that I think as honestly people don't recognize enough about The Wire, which is that in The Wire, you always have a character who's like trying to overcome the fucked up realities of the world and like trying to like, you know, do something else, whether it's like McNulty setting up the Wire program, or it's like that police lieutenant making drugs legal.
Yeah. Hamsterdam.
Or it's Frank Zabaka trying to like fix his union by doing crime shit, or it's McNulty like making a fake serial killer up. And like people get butthurt about season 5 or whatever because like that's ridiculous. It's like the show is like fantasy. It's like, here's a person who's trying to overcome this shit, and this is like kind of taking that to a heightened, excess violent kind of way.
Yeah.
But yeah,
And
it still just kind of makes me mad when people are like, The Wire was good until season 5. I'm like, bitch, season 5 was good.
It was good. No, I mean, like,
Mostly I feel like journalists watch season 5 like, but this isn't what journalism is like. I'm like, it's a TV. It was a TV show the whole time, guys. Come on.
the whole time, not for the first 4 seasons, it wasn't.
No, that was just reality. Like, sure.
Yeah, but no, this hits a lot of those notes.
Yeah,
Just more violent.
I just want to see Elliot kicking the shit out of people.
Yeah, just rolling through.
First action scene of the bar fight is fucking top tier.
Yeah, man.
It's like, we've got this solid crime show where, the biggest crime boss is dead and shit's wild. And then Elliot walks into a bar and has like a raid level fight. It's like, holy shit. And it ends with him chasing that dude, and that dude jumps down and then fucking smashes his leg and then can't escape.
Going away, yeah.
Finally, someone jumps off a high spot and is just fucked. I love that shot of like that dude like crawling out from under, and then Elliot like slowly walking after him as the kids are looking at him.
Watching, yeah.
As like the camera like swings over. That shot is so good.
It's dope. God. There's a lot of
we
good.
need to do the Raid 2 at some point.
Yeah.
That one has a scene that's like 100% no good for you. But it's just that one scene where it's a conversation where a dude, like, there are like 7 dudes lined up or something, and the dude cuts their necks one by one.
It's with a box cutter?
I think it's with a small box cutter. Like one of the small...
That like makes it worse.
ones.
Like it's all bad. Where's the elegance? Where's the fuck? Get this man a straight razor, like a nice wooden mahogany handled gold straight razor.
Yeah.
Nice velvet box. I mean, we'll see. I don't know. Yeah. Neck is, you know what? Box cutter's still no good. Neck is infinitely better than wrists. And now we even know if it's forearm, that's much more palatable. Just don't go too close to the hand, and we'll be good. My forearms don't itch, so was the wrists.
But like again, that's one scene in like a really good crime movie that has a lot of good fights.
I mean, like John Wick is right there, and who like honestly, I can admit that part of this phobia, I suppose, is also like built up in my head. Mm-hmm. I can't remember where it first started, but yeah, it like fucks up. Yeah. The itchy wrist, wrist, no good.
Before I was, trying to specifically avoid stuff with that, but you've come to me and said, "All right."
Yeah, no, this was a mistake. Now I'm gonna be bombarded. Ben, there's only don't worry about it. Okay?
I mean, honestly, I already blindsided you with Marriage Story. I don't know how much worse it can get.
Marriage Story was fucking brutal. And the worst part is I'm so bad at like, I mean, on one hand, I'm great at being like oblivious and just keeping myself exactly in the moment of this film and not thinking about what could possibly come next.
Yeah.
Because like at no point was I like, you know what, I'll bet he's gonna do this later in the film and it's not gonna be fake. Like that never even crossed my mind. Just happily oblivious over here, like, wow, that's a shitty trick.
Uh-huh.
But no, I fully expect at some point to, we start here and then in like 3 months you're like, Ben, it's a 30-minute scene, there's only like 200 people involved, just a few rusty box cutters, okay? It's fine. Like, just you'll be okay. And the worst part is maybe what if I say yes? What if I say that's no problem? Who have I become then?
So there's a great like fight in the mud in this prison in the raid 2, and there's this behind the scenes they shot like the trial run of just all the actors doing it, but just like on a mat, like a big, like in a, without any of the effects or anything.
Yeah.
Like to practice all the choreography. That shit rules.
Hell yeah.
Of just seeing them like work through the whole thing
See,
without any of like the mud effect.
See, I would, I don't know if that would. It would probably help a little bit if I could find like in Breaking Bad, show me the behind the scenes where it's like somebody, I don't know, flopping around the fake box cutter, and like let me see how that scene was filmed. That would probably go quite a ways.
The thing is, like, it's more likely to find that stuff with like action scenes.
Yeah.
Than like this is the problematic scene for you was like literally just a conversation between two people that has this other element. So like if you were practicing it, you would just have them read their lines.
Yeah. I mean, you can find some of that stuff. Just in general, you know, like, oh, this is how movies do this thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, I actually don't know. How would you do a throat slit? Is that still just a blood packet and that deal? Or is it like CGI now?
I mean, it would probably be CGI.
Is it just a pasta sauce?
But
packet?
I'm sure, like, yeah. I'm sure, like, the crudest way is, like, a blood packet that you're just, like, drawing on their neck as you're going across it.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like that hard an effect to...
No,
or you,
not
like, you
hard,
just
but I
just
just...
show the cut. You just, like, imply it by what's happening.
Yeah.
Is literally the easiest way. Like, the way the operation works in Dr. Phibes.
I mean, that's great. Don't show me I'm fine with the result. Just don't show me the action.
Yeah.
Again, tongue on the table, cereal friendly, certified.
Look, I am untrustworthy in that, like, I love Marriage Story because of this part where he cuts his arm open.
Yeah, no, that's
it's amazing. My favorite part of the movie. He's in the kitchen with paper towels. Has to lie down. Oh
no, trying to navigate like what's too much or not too much based on what you tell me is like trying to navigate what cold is here, because Anya and her family get colder like way easier than I do. So I'm like, they're like, Ben, no, it's freezing. You need your winter jacket. I'm like, sure, okay. I'll be fine with this level of jacket then because you're wearing your winter jacket. And then I step outside. I'm like, this is fucking cold. I don't know where thresholds are.
yeah.
But no.
Like, yeah. The one that I'm like, I really don't know if you'd even enjoy it at that point is the Evil Dead remake. Because kind of the thing about that is the gore show piece of it. Yeah.
I mean, how old is it? Old gore is easier.
That's like 2013.
Oh, yeah, that's not old gore. Never mind.
No. Look, a character rips off their own arm. It's pretty good.
I mean, that's not like...
Also, a character
terrible.
like grinds a piece of glass into their face. That's no good.
What part of their face?
Like at the side of their mouth. Joker smile style.
It's not great.
It's not like you don't see the grinding on the screen. You see the after effects and you hear the noise.
It's, you know what? I wonder if it's mostly the noise.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's partly the noise that's freaking me out more.
Mm-hmm.
Because even in like,
That grinding.
yeah, or like with in Gangs of London, the fingernails like being plucked, that was so much worse than seeing. I'm like, you know what? I probably could have just plugged my ears and watched. But like,
Yeah.
I mean, same thing. There's a bit in
I mean, it's it's using all the tools at its disposal to make you feel the thing that that's not actually happening. No one's actual fingernails being pulled.
yeah. God,
That's the
fucking
thing. Like, I love fantasy violence because it's not actually a person getting hurt. That
yeah.
would be terrible.
And like, I mean, Saint Maud, she puts like fucking tacks on the bottom of her shoes that so she can like flagellate herself while she walks around. She steps on them slowly, and it's fine. And then the sound, like everybody involved was like, "What if we just turned the rest of the movie down and amped up these like noises while she fucking walks around?" And that was cursed. like just this subtle enough but also prominent sound as she's walking, and I'm like, I don't like it. Yeah. I mean, like, you know, they're doing good fucking work though. Like, that's the goal, right? I can respect it while also being like, fuck this.
Sure. I've just got to the point where I love the craft, and seeing it done well makes me happy.
Yeah.
As much as like any reaction, it's also the only way I can still feel. The movie can sometimes it can still like get me if it's like actually brutal enough, and that's like, ooh, I felt a thing.
I mean,
As opposed to like rewatching this for like the third time or whatever, I'm like, it all washes over me
yeah.
at this point.
Yeah. And you know, I'd be curious to see if I like rewatched any like violent stuff. Like if it would, like, I guess John Wick. Like, I've seen the second one a handful of times now. I suppose that probably is not as bad. Constantine still fucking gets me. I don't like that one because that's right at the fucking wrist. It's too much. It's not a slice, it's a dig.
Yeah.
No good. Gangs of London, though. That's good.
Good shit.
No.
Good shit. But yeah, I kind of judge this stuff sometimes by like, could my dad handle this? Sometimes I'm watching Gangs of London. I'm like, this might be. You might feel like this is a little much. A little.
Yeah.
Like, he can handle plenty of violence and action, but sometimes, like, God, fingernail shit like that can get him. I don't know.
I get it.
The one time I remember him like getting up in the middle. There's like this scene in the Catch-22 movie where like a character's guts fall out of his body, and like my dad like had to leave the room because he knew it was coming. He's like, I can't watch this scene.
See, that stuff doesn't bother me like at all.
Yeah,
Like guts and everything. Whatever. Brains splattered. Stuff like Akira. That body horror. That's a little much. Sometimes, sort
I
of.
love Akira so much.
It's real
Akira's
fucking
so
good. Don't get me wrong, but it's like it makes me uneasy.
Sure, it's not good. That shouldn't happen. That's not what. It's not what people are supposed to. That's not your body's supposed to work. That's a bad time.
Yeah.
Tetsuo was not having a good time. He was distressed.
Man.
Oh, when he puts his arm on his chest and then pulls out his guts. Oh, God.
Good time.
Good times.
Good panels.
Salt Circle Podcast, gmail.com, Salt Circle Pod on Twitter, anchor.fm/Salt Circle, Spotify, Apple, podcasting sources, Amazon or something, Podcast Addict. You know what it is. I'm on Twitter at Comic Panels.
I'm not on Twitter.
Pawns can be kings.
I did it. I mean, I'll still be a pawn, I guess, but I took a step forward on the chessboard.